Hello children, we were studying structure and germination of seeds, and in the previous turn we studied detailed structure of bean seed and maize grain. Then we studied the meanings of seed dormancy and germination. I told you that there are four essential conditions for germination to occur. They are water, oxygen, temperature and light. Now today we will study each condition in detail. So the first condition is water. Water is absorbed through the micropyle. Now once water absorption begins, then the seed coat ruptures. It breaks. And only then the radicle and plumule can emerge out. Alright, so the water intake, this leads to increase in the metabolic activities. So the first thing it does is it softens the seed coat and it leads to the rupture of the seed coat. Second thing is that it will enhance the metabolism inside the seed. Third thing is that it will activate some enzymes, and then the stored food, they get hydrolyzed. In their soluble form they become available to the developing embryo. Second important condition is oxygen. Now food is oxidized and only then energy is released. So we all know that oxygen is one such essential factor. This energy which will be released, that will be responsible for further cell division. Then temperature. Now seeds of different plants, they germinate at different optimum temperature. We have studied the range of 10 to 35 degrees Celsius, right? So temperature plays a very important role. Why we study this range? Because we all know that there are some plants that are tropical in nature, so they need higher temperature. Their seeds need higher temperature to germinate, and the plants that belong to temperate regions, they need lower temperature to germinate. All right. Then the fourth factor is light. Now some seeds, in fact most of the seeds, they germinate better in dark, whereas there are few which germinate better in light. For example, begonia. So mostly the seeds, they germinate better in dark. So these four conditions are essential for seed germination to occur. Now we will move on to the process of seed germination. So the first thing that happens is absorption of water by the micropyle. As I told you, when the water will be absorbed, then the metabolism will increase inside the seed. The metabolic rate will increase. So there will be a large number of physiological changes. The seed coat will rupture and radicle plumule will emerge out, and the respiration inside the seed will also increase. Now, enzyme production. The water, when it moves inside, it activates the enzymes, and the food starts getting hydrolyzed. So the food material, the reserve food material, when it gets converted into its soluble form, it is easily available now to the developing embryo. When the embryo will start getting the stored food material, then energy is released, the food gets oxidized, and cell division begins. Radicle and plumule, they grow in size and they emerge out. Now one thing here that is important and that you have to notice, that radicle comes out first. Radicle comes out first, and that means root system will start growing into the soil. This is followed by the emergence of plumule, which will give rise to shoot system. Now there are few experiments given in your book. The first experiment, the aim of this experiment is to demonstrate that water is essential for germination of seeds. So how to demonstrate that water is essential? Here they have taken 4 petri dishes, and there are some bean seeds. Some of them are soaked, some of them are unsoaked. Then there is cotton wool, or in place of cotton wool, blotting paper can be used. So there are 4 petri dishes. See petri dish A. Here the seeds are soaked and they are placed on moist cotton wool. So the seeds, they have enough moisture and the cotton wool is also having moisture. Petri dish B, here the seeds are soaked but they are placed on dry cotton wool. Petri dish C, here the bean seeds are also unsoaked and they are placed on dry cotton wool. So no moisture, no water at all. Petri dish D, the seeds are soaked and they are submerged in water. So excess water is there in case of Petri dish D. Children, you all know that in which Petri dish germination will occur. We can see proper germination in case of Petri dish A. Why? Because the right amount of water or right amount of moisture is there in case of Petri dish A. That is why proper germination will be observed. Excess of water and no water or absence of water, both the extreme conditions, they will not support germination. Alright. Now moving on to the next experiment. Okay, so here we have the inference that proper germination needs adequate amount of water in the Petri dish, and adequate amount of water was in Petri dish A. In case of Petri dish B, the seeds were soaked but they were placed on dry cotton wool. So initially the germination might begin, but then very soon the seeds will shrivel up, they will dry and germination will stop. Petri dish C, there are no chances of germination at all because there is no moisture. And in case of Petri dish D, the seeds will rot because there is excess of water. Now experiment number 2. Aim of the experiment is to study the effect of temperature on germination of seeds. So here they have taken 3 Petri dishes and see the conditions. In Petri dish A, they have taken soaked seeds, wet cotton, and they have kept it at room temperature. Petri dish D, soaked seeds, wet cotton, but they have kept it at 0 degrees Celsius, 0 degree. So they must have kept it in refrigerator. And Petri dish C, soaked seeds, wet cotton, but at 50 degree Celsius. So they must have kept it in an oven, maintained the temperature of 50 degrees Celsius and kept it there. Now temperature is essential. We all know the range, the optimum range, that is 10 to 35 degrees Celsius. So you can tell very easily that in which Petri dish we will see proper germination. Seeds will germinate in Petri dish A because there in Petri dish A it is receiving the right temperature and right amount of moisture. In case of the seeds that are present in Petri dish B, since the temperature is 0, so the seeds will fail to germinate. And in case of Petri dish C, temperature is very high, so again the young tissues will die and there will be no germination. The third experiment, that is to prove that oxygen is essential for germination of seeds. Now children, here you see pyrogallic acid is used. So you have to note it down that pyrogallic acid, it has the ability to create anaerobic condition by absorbing oxygen. So if you keep pyrogallic acid, so it will absorb all the oxygen that is there in the surroundings and it will make the surrounding anaerobic. Okay, so what they have done is that they have taken 2 conical flasks. Then in the first flask they've spread a moist cotton wool and then they've placed gram seeds on it. They've done the same in both the flasks. Okay, then in the first flask they have hanged a small test tube in which there is pyrogallic acid dissolved in sodium hydroxide. and they've hanged it with the help of a thread. In case of the second flask, they have again hanged a small test tube, but there in that test tube there is water, and both the conical flask, the mouth is properly closed, they are airtight. Now the aim is to prove that oxygen is essential, and I've already told you that what pyrogallic acid does. So you can tell very easily that in which flask the seeds will germinate. The pyrogallic acid that is present in case of conical flask A will absorb all the oxygen. So the internal environment in the conical flask A will be devoid of any oxygen. So the seeds won't be able to germinate there. Seeds will properly germinate in case of flask, conical flask B, the second one. Alright, now the fourth experiment, to demonstrate that water, oxygen and optimum temperature are necessary for the germination of seeds. This is also known as 3-bean experiment. Children, you have to pay attention because there is one question also, one review question based on the same experiment that you have to write in your notebooks. So what they have done is, they've taken one big beaker and it is half filled with water. Then they have taken a slide or a plate and they've tied three seeds, and see their positions. Seed A, it is not getting any water, it is getting ample amount of oxygen but no water. Seed C is submerged in water, and seed B is somewhere in the middle. So you have to tell that which seed will be able to germinate, which seed is getting all the necessary conditions for germination. So here the middle seed, that is seed B, will germinate as it is getting water and oxygen also. Seed A, it is getting oxygen but it is not getting any water, and as I told you, seed C is completely submerged. So it is the oxygen that is present in water, that much oxygen it is getting, but so it can help in initializing the process of germination, but germination won't continue and the seed will eventually rot. Alright, now here the effect of temperature can be studied by placing this beaker in different, you can place it in different temperatures and see that what is the effect of temperature on those seeds. So if you just take this beaker and place it in refrigerator, then you can observe that what happens to the seeds. Will any seed germinate? No, because all the seeds will then they will get temperature that is below 10 degrees Celsius. And if you're putting this beaker in an oven and you're maintaining temperature of 50 degrees Celsius or 60 degrees Celsius, then also what will happen? All the young tissues, they will die. The growing tissues will die and no germination will be observed. Alright, so and if this 3-bean experiment is successful, seed B will show germination only if it is kept at room temperature. Alright, so I hope all the 4 experiments are clear to you. Now, you in your textbook, question number 10, question number 13 and 14, these 3 questions you have to do. Alright, so if you see question number 10, so these diagrammatic questions, children, you must do in your notebooks every time. So here what they have taken is, they have taken 2 beakers and dried pea seeds. In beaker A, there is the pea seeds are almost submerged in water, and in beaker B there is no water. So you have to tell that what is the aim of the experiment. Just now, children, we have discussed 4 experiments, so you can very easily tell that what is the aim of the experiment in this case and why beaker B is taken. Like in the previous experiments also, we were taking different conditions. So here also they have tried to maintain two conditions. So you have to tell that why beaker B is there. What is the purpose? What will you see in beaker A after few days? And would the result be same if instead of dried peas that have been killed by heating in an oven are used? Very easy question, children. I want all of you to do these questions in your notebook. I will be discussing the answers in the next turn. I hope you've understood the question well and the diagram also. Dried pea seeds are there. In one condition there is a lot of water, second one there is no water. So you have to tell that what is the aim of experiment, why beaker B is there, what is the purpose of having beaker B, and what will happen to the pea seeds in beaker A after few days. That you have to write, draw and tell. And if in place of dried pea seeds, if killed seeds are used, then what would have happened? That you have to write. This diagram we have discussed in detail in the previous turn. So you have to label the parts. You have to tell the function of coleoptile and endosperm. We have already done it, children. I'm sure you will be able to answer. What kind of seed germination occurs in a maize seed? You can leave this part because we still have one section of this chapter to finish. So question 13 part 3 you can leave, but part 1 and 2 you can do. And this experiment that we have discussed. All right, so please do these 3 questions in your notebooks. I will be discussing them in the next turn, but I believe that all of you will be able to do all these 3 questions. All right, children, thank you very much.